Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at measures of central tendency, dispersion, histograms, and frequency polygons. We'll also cover some of the functions in your calculator that might end up saving you some time and effort. So let's start with some measures of central tendency. We have first the mean, which is the sum of a set of values divided by the number of values in the set of data, what you might often refer to as the average. The median, which gives you the middle number when data is arranged in numerical order. And we also have the mode, which is the number or numbers that occur most frequently in a set of values. Next up we have measures of dispersion, which is used to describe how spread out or dispersed the data is. We have here the range, which is the number that represents the difference between the highest and lowest values in a set of data. So in this first question, the following are marks for a small class on a cumulative exam. We need to find the following information for the marks on the cumulative exam. First off, the mean, what we can do is add up all these numbers. So if we go 99 plus 53 plus 96 and so on, we get a sum total of 1,114. And there are 14 numbers here total. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 14. And when we do the total divided by the number of numbers, we get 79.6. Now for the median and the mode, it would be helpful if these numbers were arranged in order. So let's do that, starting with the first number, the lowest, which is 41. Next we have 53, and then 69, and so on, all the way to 99. So now we can figure out what the median is. We can count off from the outside, so tick them off. 99, 41, 53, 96, 69, 95, all the way into the middle. So because we have an even set of numbers, there is no middle number. So what we need to do is take the average between 77 and 82. So 77 plus 82 divided by 2 gives us 79.5, and that's the median. And for the mode, the number or numbers that occur most frequently, it looks like 76 occurs twice, 95 also occurs twice. So we have a tie for the numbers that occur most frequently. So there are multiple modes, 76 and 95 in this set. And for the range, we subtract the lowest from the highest. So 99 minus 41 gives us 58. So we can do that all manually, which is great, but let's see if our calculator can save us some time here. We can enter data in this way by going stat, edit, enter, and we can get it to return statistics by going stat, calc, enter, and so on. And that's going to give us a bunch of different data points. It's going to give us the mean, it's going to give us a standard deviation, it's going to give us the number of values entered, it's going to give us the median, and a bunch of other different things. So let's see how this works in practice. For question number 2, we need to find the mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviation for each set of data, and round all values to the nearest tenth if necessary. So here's our calculator. Let's enter the data for the first row. We go stat, enter, and list all the data in L1. So we go 4, enter, 6, enter, 12, enter, 5, enter, 8, enter. That's all the data. And to display the statistics, we go stat, calc, enter for one variable statistics. Make sure L1 is displayed, calculate, and there's all the values that we need. We've got the mean, standard deviation, we've got our pick there, number of values, median is 6, and so on. So we're just going to enter the data in there. So for this first row, the mean is 7, the median is 6, there is no mode, we can see that visually, and the range is 8. For the next row of data, we can go stat, edit, and we can put this data into L2, or alternatively we could clear L1. If you are going to clear this column of data, make sure you do not clear it with the delete button, because that will get rid of column L1. What you need to do is press clear. So clear and then go down, and then you can enter data again into L1. So let's do that. 9, 9, 8, 11. And if we want the statistics on that, we go stat, calc, one variable statistics, L1, calculate, and there's everything we need. So the mean is 9, median is 9, the mode we can determine visually here is 9, and the range is 3. For the next set of data, let's enter that into L2. So we're going to go Edit, L2, we're going to go 300, 34, and so on. So 300, 34, 40, 50, 60. If we want the statistics for this column, we're going to need to go Stat, Calc, one variable statistics, but we need to change this to L2. So we're going to go second 2. We can see L2 is there, and then calculate. So there's everything we need, and we can scroll through. So for this set of data, the mean is 96.8, the median is 50, the mode there is none, and the range is 266. For the fourth set of data, let's enter that into L3. So scroll over to L3, we're going to go 25, 25, and so on. So 25, that's done. Statistics, calculate one variable statistics, making sure we're using L3 this time, and calculate, and there's everything we need. An important distinction between sample standard deviation and population standard deviation: we would use sample standard deviation if we're sampling part of the total population, and we would use the population standard deviation if we're assuming that we have the entire population sampled. So for this row we would have 21, 25, 25, and the range is 10. And for the last row, we're going to enter this into maybe L4. So starting with 10, 3. So we're going to go Stat, calculate one variable statistics, make sure we do L4. So we're going to go second 4, and calculate, and there's everything we need. You can scroll if you need. So for this last row, we have 8.3 is the mean, 8's the median, 3 and 8 are the mode, and 16 is the range. Next up, we're going to look at frequency, which is the number of times a particular value occurs in a set of data. So in question number 3, we're going to recycle the list of numbers that we've used in question 1, and we're going to arrange it into a frequency table. So it's already been started here. We have 5 numbers that are between 90 and 99. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 2 numbers that occur between 80 and 89. For 70 to 79, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 there. For 60 to 69, there's only 1. From 50 to 59, there's 1 there. And for 40 to 49, there's 1 there. So a histogram provides a visual statistical description of a frequency distribution of a set of data. It is a vertical bar graph. There are no spaces between the bars, where the height or area of each bar is proportional to the frequency or probability of the number or interval it represents. So we're going to draw a frequency histogram for the marks in the table in this space. I've already set the stage for a vertical bar graph. Our vertical scale should go up to 5, because the most frequently occurring number is between 90 to 99, and that happens 5 times. We should space our horizontal axis evenly and label the bins. We should also have these axes labeled. So vertically we should have frequency, and horizontally we would have marks in this case. And our histogram is going to look like this. In order to get our frequency polygon, we draw dots at each one of these points in the middle and connect them with a broken line. And here's what that looks like. Ideally, we'd have a title for this graph as well. So now let's look at another feature of our graphing calculator that might save us some time. In question number 4, the table shows the number of goals per game for the first 25 games for a Little League hockey team. We need to find the values for each of the following rounded to the nearest hundredth. So here's our calculator, and we're going to enter this data into the calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And oh no, I just did the thing that I told you never to do. I cleared L1 and it doesn't look like I'm able to get it back. So how do we get it back? Well, probably the simplest way we can do that is by resetting. So we're going to go second memory, and then we're going to go down to reset, number 7, and we're going to go reset all memory and reset. So now if we go back to stat, L1 is back and all the other rows are reset because we reset the calculator. So we're going to enter all of this data into L1 and all of this data into L2. So the long way to do this question, 0 goals were scored for 2 games. So we could go 0, 0. 1 goal was scored for 4 games. So we would go 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 times. And then 2 goals 7 times, so we would have to do 2, 2, 2, and so on. That's a lot of data to enter though. So in order to save us a little bit of time, we're going to split that up in between L1 and L2. So we're going to clear L1. These are going to be the number of goals scored per game. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the frequency of each is 2, 4, 7, 11, and 1. Now if we want to find the statistics for this data, we go stat, calc, 1 variable statistics. L1 is our list, and this time we have a frequency list. It was put into L2, so you go second L2, and that's a very important step, and then calculate. And that's all the data that we need, and you can scroll through it if you need to. So the mean of this data is 2.2 goals. The median is 2 goals. The mode is 3 goals. And the range is 4 minus 0, which is 4 goals. In question number 5, we're given a histogram, and it displays the number of points a particular basketball player scored per game in the first 100 games of his career in the NBA. So the number of times he scored 6 points per game was once. The number of times he scored 7 points per game was twice, and so on. So then 9 happened 4 times, 10 points happened 9 times, 8, 2, and 2. Now if we want our calculator to do most of the work for this question, we're going to use stat. We're going to make sure to clear all of the previous data. So clear and then down. And one option, which would take a really long time, would be for me to go 6, 7, 7, and then 8, and then 9 4 times. This would take a long time, right? Because we'd have to enter a bunch of data here. We'd have to enter 10 9 times, enter 11 19 times. So rather than doing that, I think we can all agree that just entering each category and then the frequency of each is going to be a lot quicker. So enter our categories first, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 19. And now we go on to L2 and enter the frequency of each. So 6 points happen once, 7 points happen twice, 8 points happen once, 2, 2, and 0. So it's important that the rows match up for each set of data, and now we can calculate our statistics. So we go calc. We have L1 is our list, L2 is our frequency. So now we can calculate, and there we go. We can scroll if you need to. So the mean points scored per game to the nearest tenth is 12.56. The median, which was given on our calculator, is 12. The mode is the most frequent number, and that happens to be the highest, which is 11. It happens 19 times. And the range is 18 minus 6, which is 12. So this last set of questions is going to be for you to do. There are 6 questions based on this data. Here's the first 4 questions. and number 5 and 6 are here. So that's it for me for today. I'll see you next time.